Welcome to the final part of our three-part presentation, where we delve into the Sri Lankan state's plans to defeat the Tamil rebellion and enforce a controversial victor's peace. Part 3, Section 1. In Part 2, we witnessed how the Sri Lankan government's military operations were bolstered by support from New Delhi and Beijing. In 2019, Bhashana Abeyewardene, a Sri Lankan journalist and coordinator of Journalists for Democracy in Sri Lanka, pointed out that it was not China but the US that destroyed the parity of status between the warring parties and created the conditions for the Sri Lankan state to resume the war. As we noted in Part 2 of this presentation, defeating the LTTE was part of the US strategy during its involvement in the peace process. It wanted Ranil Wickremesinghe installed as president in 2005. In 2009, these actions helped the Rajapaksa regime quash the Tamil uprising. Colombo was thus assisted by regional and global powers. As Sri Lanka's military decided to confront the LTTE, it realized that external support alone was insufficient. The LTTE was a politico-military organization with grassroots support. In 1997, Dr. Sathananthan, a political scientist with a PhD from Cambridge, pointed out that the LTTE's centrality lies in its nature and history. He highlighted that the LTTE is deeply ingrained in Tamil society, with its guerrillas being the sons, daughters, brothers, and sisters of Tamils. Over the past 2.5 decades, nearly every extended Tamil family in the northeast has had some form of direct or indirect connection with the LTTE. This meant that the LTTE, which had now emerged as a conventional force, could always resort to guerrilla war by melting into the population. The government was also well aware that a considerable segment of the population supported Tamil independence. To ensure that the call for independence wouldn't endure even after the military defeat of the LTTE, it needed to permanently silence these voices. The Sri Lankan government realized that the goal of crushing the Tamil uprising required a level of violence that could only be described as genocidal. In order to succeed, they had to decimate the LTTE's extensive support base, which encompassed a significant portion of the civilian population. The government, therefore, decided to target civilians, in order to dismantle the LTTE's politico-military structure that was deeply embedded within Tamil people. Balancing this aggressive strategy with the need to avoid global scrutiny proved challenging. This is because Colombo understood that international awareness of its tactics could jeopardize its efforts. In the next section, we will see how the Sri Lankan government implemented its gruesome plan.